Chapter 1. Intro. Welcome back, automation addicts. If you're new here, grab your favorite drink and get comfortable, because today we're talking about Thread, one of the key technologies powering the next generation of smart homes. In this video, I'll show you how I turned an old USB dongle into a Thread border router for Home Assistant, giving it a second life and expanding my smart home network. Chapter 2. Disclaimer. Quick disclaimer before we start. This video is not sponsored. I didn't receive any devices or financial support for making it. The SONOFF dongle I'll be using in this video is something I bought myself a few years ago on Amazon, originally to use as a Zigbee gateway for Home Assistant. Chapter 3. Thread Border Router. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance you already know what Thread and Matter are, and you're simply looking for guidance on how to set up a Thread border router in Home Assistant. So let me show you how I ended up with mine. A few years ago, I bought the SONOFF USB Dongle E to use as a Zigbee gateway for Home Assistant. Later on, I replaced it with an Ethernet-based Zigbee gateway, and the SONOFF dongle ended up sitting in a box with a bunch of other smart home devices I wasn't using anymore. Then last year, I realized it could be useful again. I needed a Thread border router, and it turns out this little dongle can do exactly that. So let me walk you through the steps to install and configure a Thread border router in Home Assistant using the SONOFF USB dongle. Step 1. Flash the dongle. SONOFF sells several USB dongle models, and only one of them does not support Thread, the USB Dongle P. Unfortunately, it looks very similar to the USB Dongle E, so it's easy to confuse the two. Just keep in mind that the Dongle P will not work as a Thread border router. For this video, I'm using the SONOFF USB Dongle E. First, plug the dongle into a USB port on your computer. Next, open the SONOFF Dongle Flasher webpage. You'll find the link in the description below. One important tip: avoid using Firefox, because the flasher is not supported in Firefox. I'm using Google Chrome, but Microsoft Edge should work as well. Click Connect. In the pop-up window asking to connect to a serial port, select your SONOFF dongle port and click Connect. Once connected, select the dongle again and press Connect. Wait a few seconds for the device information to load. Now change the firmware type to OpenThread. Choose the appropriate firmware version and click Apply, then Continue. Next, click Flash and wait for the process to complete. Once flashing is finished, reconnect the USB dongle to confirm that the firmware has been installed correctly. And that's it. Your Thread border router is ready. Step 2. Home Assistant. Now it's time to configure everything in Home Assistant. First, connect the USB dongle with the Thread firmware to your Home Assistant machine. Then open Home Assistant and go to Settings, followed by System, and then Hardware. Here you can confirm that the SONOFF USB dongle has been detected by the system. Next, go to Settings, then Apps, and install the OpenThread Border Router add-on. Once the OpenThread Border Router is installed, go to the configuration. Select your SONOFF USB dongle with the Thread firmware and save the changes. Then move to the Info tab. Make sure Start on Boot is enabled and click Start to launch the app. If you want to make sure everything is running correctly, you can open the Log tab and watch the startup process. Next, open the Devices and Services page and install the Thread integration. In many cases, Home Assistant will detect it automatically, and you'll just need to click Add. If it doesn't appear automatically, click Add Integration, search for Thread, and install it manually. Once installed, open the integration configuration to confirm that your Thread Border Router is available. Now go back to Devices and Services again and add the Matter integration. At this point, the setup is complete. You can now start adding Thread devices to your Matter server and expanding your smart home network. Chapter 4. Matter Devices. To add a Matter device to your smart home, first put it into pairing mode. Check the manual for the exact procedure, but in most cases you will need to press and hold a button for a few seconds. A blinking LED indicator usually confirms that pairing mode is active. At the time of recording this video, the only way to add Matter devices to Home Assistant is through the Home Assistant companion app, although this may change in future updates. So grab your mobile phone or tablet and open the Home Assistant app. Start the process to add a new Matter device. Then scan the QR code located on the product or in its manual. After scanning the code, tap I'm ready and wait for the pairing process to begin. The setup may take a minute or two, so just give it a moment to complete. Once the connection is established, tap Done. And that's it. Your new Matter device is now successfully added to Home Assistant. Chapter 5. Thank you. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope this guide helped you understand how to turn the SONOFF USB dongle into a Thread Border Router for Home Assistant and get your system ready for Matter over Thread devices. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It really helps the channel grow and allows me to keep creating more smart home tutorials, reviews, and automation ideas. If you'd like to support the channel even further, you can do so through PayPal or Buy Me a Coffee. You'll find the links in the video description below. Your support is always greatly appreciated. And as always, if you have any questions, suggestions, or your own experience with Thread and Matter, feel free to share them in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And happy flashing!